A warm welcome to everybody.
You're not audible, Dave, and I don't see you on the screen too.
So, a warm welcome to everybody. There were some technical difficulties. So, I welcome all of you to this latest segment of Democratic Dialogues. We have with us Dr. Parakala Prabhakar, uh, who is, well, he does not need a lot of introduction because he is one of two people in the entire country who got the election result very near to what the outcome has been. So, a warm welcome to you, Dr. Parakala Prabhakar, and
Thank you.
immense honor
Thank
to
you.
have you with us. Hello.
Hi. Is
Yeah,
everything okay?
hi. Sorry, I'm back. Yes,
No
yes,
problem.
it's fine now. So, we are back, and Dr. Parakala is with us. So, thank you for joining us, Doctor. My first question to you today. Well, you're one of two people who had predicted the mandate we've seen after the results were declared, and contrary to the exit polls, you said that this time it's people versus Modi, BJP, NDA. How do you view this?
Well, that is the sense that I got way back in January, Dave. For the last 10 months, I've been going around the country attending my book discussion events or book launch events because my book, after it came out in English, it's also been translated to into many languages. So I've been going around, except for Jammu and Kashmir and some northeastern states. I've touched almost
Hmm.
every state in the country, and to some states I've been to more than once, two times or three times also. So wherever I went, after the event or before the event, I used to spend some time going to the campuses, interacting with the youngsters. That's one. The second thing that I used to do, spend some time in meeting a cross section of people, men, women, different age groups, different income groups, different educational qualifications, different professions, rural, urban, demographic, geographic, all sorts of people. Because, I have some training in conducting surveys and market research and opinion polling, etc. Uh, so I used those skills. Um, and then I got a sense sometime in January last year. I mean, this year, sorry, 24 January. that that the ground in India, the political ground in India, is shifting massively. That was the sense I've got. But then in January, somewhere towards the end of January, I think it was 22nd, if I'm not wrong, Ram Temple was inaugurated, Pran Pratishtha was done. So I took a pause and I was just a bit skeptical. What could be the impact of Ram Mandir, Pran Pratishtha? So I waited for a while, and then since then, I started looking for somebody, some sample, where that person was not a BJP supporter, Modi supporter, before 22nd January. And because of 22nd January, Pran Pratishtha of Ayodhya Ram Mandir, he or she turned into a Modi supporter, a BJP supporter. So I was looking for some evidence, very hard evidence to that effect. Um, I looked around. I used to ask people whenever I went around and met people in different parts of the country. Um, you'll be surprised to know I've not met a single person who was not with BJP Modi before 22nd January, but then turned into a supporter. Therefore, I concluded that the Pran Pratishtha of Ram Janmabhoomi did not get them additional votes. Well, it might have consolidated their existing support base, but it has not accrued, it has not really added any vote to them. So that was my conclusion. Therefore, all my earlier findings were intact in my mind. And then I was also looking at the economic parameters, the rural distress, the farms agitation, price rise, unemployment, uh, inequality, youngsters and rural families and women and men, lower middle classes, the way they were struggling. And then when I went, during my trips, when I started asking people about what are the main issues that they had in mind if they were to go and vote. So they were talking about unemployment, price rise, agriculture crisis, rural distress. These are the things that were coming about. So I put these two together, and then I also came to the conclusion that Ram Janmabhoomi's impact is more or less nowhere. I mean, it's neutral. So I came to
Yeah.
the conclusion that it's going to be a very tough time for the BJP.
Now, very funnily, uh, in 8 seats, BJP has won with a margin of less than 10,000 votes. And in 40 seats, their winning margin is between 10,000 to 50,000. So, how do you see this in respect to people's perspective about the so-called Modi magic uh, that has been much touted about in the mainstream media?
One thing that is very clear from the verdict of this election day is that there's no Modi magic. On the contrary, there is Modi fatigue. People are, I've met many people who said he goes on talking, he promises something or the other. He's been promising for a long time, but always he moves the goalposts. So that is not there. That is very evident in Uttar Pradesh. That's very evident, especially in Varanasi. It's very evident in Ayodhya itself, Faizabad. And in many places, it's very evident. And the data that you just showed me about how many seats are won with less than 10,000 margins. We need to crunch the numbers even further to see some states were surprisingly they gave less number of seats than what many people have thought. Some people have given more than what people have forecast. So we need to understand what are the local dynamics, what is the national narrative, and all these things. Um, Another reason why I came to this finding that it is going to be a fight between Narendra Modi and the people of India, and the fight between BJP and the people of India, fight between NDA and the people of India, was that you know people expressed a lot of misgivings, lot of anger, lot of anguish about the prime minister, about the ruling party, about the government, about the alliance. Uh, they were not very clearly favoring another leader. They were not favoring another party. But then that is the reason why I said, when people are used to ask me, what about this Tina factor? There is no alternative factor. I mean, that kind of a thing. So if not Modi, who? If not BJP, which party? If not NDA, which alliance? Kind of a thing. I always used to maintain that it's not a fight between two leaders. It is a fight straight between the people of India and the leader, the existing leader, the incumbent. Uh, that is the reason why I came to that formulation, because people are not saying that this party should defeat that party. Therefore, in most of the places, Dave, if you notice, the electorate cast their vote in a very strategic manner. They cast their vote to any party or a leader who they thought would be able to defeat the BJP and Ms. Narendra Modi's candidate. So that is the reason why I came to this formulation. And to a large extent, it held right.
Yeah, and we see so many examples of it. I think the biggest example of it was Faizabad, Ayodhya, which went to the Samajwadi Party and not the Bharatiya Janata Party. When we speak of Banswara in Rajasthan, where that infamous first hate speech of Narendra Modi in this election season, although he's made a lot of the hate speeches before, but that was the first one. So there also the BJP candidate was defeated. The Bharatiya Adivasi Party candidate, which was supported by the Congress, won. Amethi, Lakhimpur Kheri, where the previous MP's son had run over the farmers and killed them. So there were many such examples that came forward in this result, that people's mandate somehow has been against hatred and divisiveness. Do you concur with that view?
Yes, Dev. The biggest takeaway of this election, the verdict is to me that the people have, stopped the Republic of India being dragged towards majoritarian rule, majoritarian principle, Hindutva, Hindu Rashtra kind of a thing. The people have voted in order to halt that kind of a trajectory in its tracks and gave out a very loud message: stop it. Thus far, no further,
Yes.
come back. And if you think that we will tolerate this kind of a Hindu Musliman, Mangal Sutra, Machli, Mujra kind of a narrative, you're mistaken. And another takeaway which is related to this is that the people have also said, look at issues like unemployment, price rise, rural distress, Kisan. These are the things that you need to concentrate on. These are the issues that you need to address, not the kind of things that you went around talking about in your election campaign. So that is a clear slap in the face of the prime minister.
For
It's a
sure.
it's a very, very loud message, Dave, and they've said stop this. So therefore, in markets, people talk about correction has happened in the market. Similarly, the Indian polity also a major correction has happened. I think the prime minister and his party and his colleagues would recognize this message and come back to their senses, leave these kind of majoritarian Hindu Muslim divisive hateful agenda and come back to normal agenda of addressing the problems of the people, their distress, their unemployment, the price rise. This should be the agenda. So therefore I feel that this verdict is very very significant in bringing some kind of a balance back into the Indian Republic. You could be slightly right of center or you could be slightly left of center, but somewhere nearer the center. You can't be too much into the right of center where you say, only Hindus matter, nobody else matter, only temples matter, not other things. These things will have to be shed.
Yes, and I would certainly like to add that the northeastern states also have given a very resounding mandate in that favor. That Manipur, both the seats have come to Congress. Nagaland, the one seat has come to Congress. So we clearly see that the people are reminding this government, and I hope they hear this loud and clear. Although they are very busy, them and their followers are still very busy trying to obfuscate the fact that the Republic of India, the people, have shown them their place with this mandate and actually put a, a halt to their agenda of changing the constitution, making India into a Hindu Rashtra, which many of their leaders have said in the past. So let's come to the next question. Less than a year ago, the India Alliance was termed as a ragtag group of parties coming together in an attempt to retain relevance. What is your view on the alliance, and were they strategic in achieving the result that they have?
I've been maintaining for a long time. I think we've had this kind of a discussion earlier also. That is, as I said, is the fight is mounted by the people. And whatever performance the India Alliance could exhibit now is because it is a beneficiary of the fight of the people against the regime, against Mr. Modi, against Mr. Against the party, ruling party, and the alliance. This is good. There are many problems with the India Alliance. That's mainly because the government completely controlled the national narrative because it captured the media, both electronic as well
Hmm.
as print. And
Hmm.
the ruling party is flush with funds. On the other hand, the main opposition, the Congress and its friendly parties, have very much, they have difficulty in mobilizing funds and their accounts are frozen. And two chief ministers were put behind bars. All these things have happened. And the election commission also, it's very difficult to say that it was fair and impartial. Their conduct, it does not really give you that kind of a confidence. There was a lot of trust deficit as far as the election commission is concerned. In spite of all that, if this is the kind of a performance that the alliance, which is an opposition alliance, India Alliance, has put up, that's mainly because of the people's choice to, people's decision to fight the regime. Had these handicaps not been there,
Hmm.
I think the result would have been drastically different, drastically much more in favor of the opposition alliance. That's my feeling.
And I think one aspect I would like to address before we go to the next question, Prabhakar, is that a lot of these agents, now they are being termed as agents of the BJP, like the BSP party, Bhajan Samajwadi Party, uh, they have played a role in at least 16 to 20 seats where they have won the amount of votes, which has been the difference between the winning and losing. So we do see these sort of forces being also deployed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which has also added numbers to their tally in the end of it. So what do you say about this?
I'm not surprised by this, and I think any shrewd politician, any experienced politician or a political party would only expect this, because you see, our democratic electoral democratic system is first past the post system. It is not necessary for a political party or a candidate to win majority of the polled votes. It's enough to win one vote more than the nearest rival. That's it. So people do this kind of a thing. They play all sorts of tricks. In fact, they also have in the past. I've known that parties and individuals field candidates with similar names, and also go for very similar looking kind of symbols. So there's confusion. So there's
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
all these. I mean, these things do happen in our electoral system. It's possible. But in spite of all that you talked about, in spite of all that, this is the kind of result which is a major and significant message to the incumbent government, or to the entire political society, entire political establishment.
But one does wonder whether they're listening to this message loud and clear, or they're still busy with kind of ignoring what the people are trying to say through their vote. So we come to the next question, and which is, yeah,
I always say this, Dave, that I mean, it's very natural for people and political parties to learn lessons from defeat. It happens. But
yes,
much more important is to learn lessons from victory. If
yes,
BJP thinks that there are no lessons in this whatever victory that they have today, they'll be very, very sadly mistaken, and it's going
yes.
to be disaster for the party as well as for the country. They need to learn lessons. What is the message that is embedded in the verdict 2024?
And it will surely become quite a learning manual for political parties going forward. What happened in this election? Let's come to the next question, and this will be the last one. What are the challenges you see for Modi and BJP in running the NDA alliance, given their fascist and dictatorial tendencies? Will federalism see a revival in politics going forward?
So far as the challenges are concerned, Dave, I think every day, every hour is a challenge. Because you see, last 10 years, Mr. Narendra Modi ran union government as though, it is not even a party government, leave alone an alliance government. It's his own government. And he did that in Gujarat also. He's used to that kind of a thing. He is not used to going to somebody asking for counsel, or asking for advice, asking for suggestions, or run a proposal by some elderly people, knowledgeable people, or taking orders, or taking instructions from anybody. He is not used to that. Even from Gandhinagar onwards. Today, that is unlikely to happen because they don't command, majority. They have to depend upon their allies, especially two allies who are very, very consummate politicians. Uh, they have seen long years in politics. They have seen both defeat as well as victory, whereas Mr. Narendra Modi had only seen victories, not defeats. People learn a lot from defeats. They fell down, they got up, they again fell down, they again got up. That's not a normal thing. They are all battles. They both of them, Mr. Naidu and Mr. Nitish Kumar, are battle scarred generals, and they are also good tacticians, very consummate tacticians. They know when to move forward, they know when to retreat, they know when to stay at the same place or halt. And they know when to keep their head down and work without raising the head and talking anything. I mean, they know this game for a long time. Therefore, in order to manage a coalition government, for Modi, it's not easy with these two people there, because they will have a lot of asks. They have a list of demands for the respective states, in addition to the political demands. And what you must understand is that the NDA, present NDA, does not have a single party which is an ideological ally of the BJP. Their views are very
Absolutely.
different, on CAA, on caste census, on Muslim reservation, on center-state relations, on devolution of funds, on CAA, on NRC, on Mathura temple, on Gyanvapi temple, a host of issues which are, these parties and BJP within the alliance are like chalk and cheese. They can't you
Yes.
know they can't see in the same way. There is no shared vision, except for formality's sake, and for pleasantry's sake. People might say, Modi ji is a man with a vision, and we're all supporting, we're all with him, and all that kind of a thing. These are the pleasantries. But what is the shared vision of the NDA parties, especially the two leaders who are the mainstay in the NDA? Do they agree with all of them? Let's take just three important personalities in this government, which again I doubt whether it is going to be able to pass the floor test.
Slow test.
Yeah, that's a different
Mm.
thing. But then Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, and Mr. Nitish Kumar, what is their shared vision?
Mhm.
About caste census, about Muslim reservation, about Hindu-Muslim question, about NRC, about CAA, about Gyanvapi, about Mathura, about a host of issues. What is their shared vision? Do they share a vision? Are they all on the same page? They're not.
Yeah. And very quickly, I'd like to add to that Chandrababu Naidu's son has already made demands that the reservation for Muslims as a form of social security measure needs to be brought in. Now, we as political commentators, analysts, and even anybody walking on the street, they would note that BJP's complete outlook is anti-Muslim, anti-Christian, anti-minority. Now you have an alliance partner who says that they want Muslim reservation. Now, how would BJP respond to that? And if it does respond and give that to its alliance partner, what will the core voters of BJP say? Because the BJP has always worked on consolidating the entire game of fragmentation, and of course, I believe somewhere they are also very hateful people themselves, but they've always batted to their core voters. So, what's your and also about special status? Modi is completely opposed to special status for territories and states because he always believes in the centralization of powers and against federalism. Whereas now Nitish Kumar as well as Chandrababu Naidu both are asking for special
Yeah,
status for their
states,
respective states.
states financial rights in GST. There are the thing will be a bumpy ride. So this coalition, even to pass, I mean, Mr. Modi may be sworn in as the prime minister, and he might swear in a council of ministers. But then, when the test to prove his numbers, his majority, the floor test comes, I have my own doubts. I'm not saying that he may not be able to clear it, but I won't be surprised if he doesn't clear it.
So, do you think? I don't know. I'm expecting somewhere that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, the kind of you know the way that Modi went behind persecuting Chandrababu Naidu after coming to power in 2014, maybe Mr. Naidu may take revenge for that sometime very soon. And it may take the form of, ensuring that Modi fails the flow test. What do you think?
We can't jump to such kind of a conclusions. But you see, as I said, these are very experienced politicians. They would not like to come across to the people of India, and especially to their own states, people of their own states, that they were unreasonable kind of a thing. They will definitely put forward their demands about the state, uh, and if they are not met, they'll have a reason to go back and say, look, we were a part of the alliance, and we wanted to stick to the alliance. But then how do I stick to the alliance when our basic demands are not being met? So
Yes.
that kind of a thing is possible. Or there's another scenario, Dave. Suppose if Mr. Modi chooses to say, yes, yes, kar lenge, we will do it, and then passes the flow test, but then goes back on the promises made, then the backlash will be much even more severe. It will be worse.
Yes. Yes. And
So
and
I'm
and I
a bumpy ride for this thing. If at all it happens that it crosses the flow test.
for sure. And it's actually, as a person, since I've studied public administration and to know a bit about how the center and the states and how the federal structure works, or is supposed to work, contrary to what has happened in the last decade. Um, any coalition government in the center is actually healthy for democracy, because it ensures that every perspective is respected, it's heard, and the needs of the people, they are met. So for someone who is so used to, like, as you rightly pointed out, Modi in his entire political career from the beginning till now, as CM of Gujarat as well as the PM of India 2 terms, he has not had to deal with a coalition government or running a coalition government. So do you think, because of course he's very good at theatrics and acting and symbolism and all of that, but to change one's character of taking unilateral decisions, of running roughshod over people, is that going to change?
I hardly see that possibility, Dave. Um, you know, uh, Unless we see a completely hidden aspect of his personality suddenly emerging. I see that very likely. You see, when I'm not reading the mind of Mr. Narendra Modi, but about
Hmm.
22 years of his public life. I mean, it's all there for
Hmm.
us to. As I said, he ran governments both in Gandhinagar as well as in New Delhi in his own way, as though it is his own, not even a party government. He doesn't like to be accountable to anybody. He doesn't like to
Yes.
get clearance from anybody. That is the kind of a thing. So to me, it looks, he's always been a wolf, and a wolf in wolf's clothing, not a disguised wolf. Today, to expect Narendra Modi to change and become a wolf in sheep's clothing and start behaving like a sheep, I think it's too much of an ask.
I concur with your view. It's and you, as you rightly pointed out, uh, aside from their now newly included alliance partners being chalk and cheese with Modi, the new sort of behavioral expectation from Modi is also going to be a chalk and cheese with who he really is. So I thank you so much, Dr. Prabhakar, for joining us today. And really, it is always a pleasure to have you with us. I All the viewers who've watched your previous segment also with me have pointed out they are a fan of your insightful, whatever you share, your insights and your research and what you come up with. And surely, and I think all the viewers would agree that this is one of two people in the whole of India who had predicted what's going to happen, and that exactly has happened. So, hats off to you and every effort that you've made during this election season, Dr. Prabhakar. uh, the people of India do have a debt towards you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure always to talk to you and to be on your platform. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. And for all the viewers, if you have liked what you've seen today, you've enjoyed this discussion with Dr. Parakala Prabhakar, and you would like to see many more of these segments coming on my channel, please do like, comment, subscribe, and share with people around you so that our viewership goes up and this channel can grow in leaps and bounds. I thank you so much for your time, and thank you once again, Dr. Parakala Prabhakar.
Thank you.